Can you hear me?
Oh, there I am. There we go. Here we go. Hello?
Hello.
Marshall. Hey, buddy.
Hello.
Hey, cheers. Cheers to you guys watching and listening at home. Marshall, cheers to you, buddy.
Yeah, brother.
This is one of my favorite beers. It's your favorite beer, too, isn't it?
It's the one I've consumed the most of per ounce, definitely.
And it is Daycrusher.
Daycrusher.
Which is what type of beer, Marshall?
It's just an American blonde ale. 4.5%, 15 IBU. Pretty straightforward.
Of deliciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, dude, we were supposed to do an episode for your anniversary. It was going to be a live episode at 1227 Tap Room, and then COVID hit the Walters house. So I was pretty bummed out that we missed the opportunity to do that, but we'll do that again. But Marshall, I've been wanting to catch up with you, buddy.
Well, I appreciate it.
On the microphones, because we see each other all the time.
Right.
Living up here in this.
This feels more official.
It does. It does. So
I still get nervous.
I do too. I do. Every single one. I'm reading a book actually right now about speaking, like speaking without being, wanting to shit your pants, right? You know that people would rather like die than speak in front of people. Like there's actually studies.
Some people for sure.
Yeah. Well, they said that the number one fear is public speaking, and the number two fear is death. So literally, I would rather die than speak in front of people. But no, that's not me. I don't know where I was going with that. Marshall, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So 2 years. You guys just hit 2 years. And it seems like you guys have been in my neighborhood ever since I lived here, which was 2015.
Well, some days it feels like we've been here a long time.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it feels like we just barely started.
People are like, when did you guys open? Like,
Right. Well, we get that every day. Yeah, every day, which is great. People are still discovering us, and the brand is still growing, and we get to see new faces all the time.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, it just feels like I feel like I've put in more than 2 years worth of work.
You have. You put in 2 years of COVID, right? That's like Fahrenheit and Celsius, right? Yeah. 2 years of COVID years is different. And when did you guys open? When was your like soft opening? When was the first time somebody could come and grab a beer?
The week of Thanksgiving in 2019,
Okay.
we soft opened with just guest beers.
Okay.
And one collab that we had. And then we started production in December. So we had our grand opening in January of 2020.
Yeah.
The stars were twice as bright that night. It's little did we know that we would be shut down in mid-March, but we made the best of it.
You guys, but from the beginning of that grand opening, you guys kind of hit the ground running, right?
Yeah. Well, we had a lot of friends in the industry.
Yeah.
For grand opening, we did a lot of paid advertising and promotion, which was awesome. I think it really kicked off the brand.
Okay.
It went really well. Print advertising and digital, and you did an episode with us when we first got going.
Yep.
I believe that helped a lot.
We did the commercial. Remember the commercial,
Yeah.
the delivery commercial?
That was a lot of fun for COVID. I got to ride your neighbor's daughter's bike.
That was great.
Yeah, it worked out really well. I think COVID had its detriment at first, but there was such a push during the first shutdown for people to search local and to try to support local that it really did us a favor.
Yeah.
And I had worked in production brewing before, so shifting to a packaging model really wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, obviously getting the supplies and prepping our beers for it, we were versed for it, we were ready for it.
Yeah.
And then it was just a matter of just trying to figure out how we were going to get it out of the house. A lot of taproom sales, people coming up. We did curbside. We tried to deliver ourselves. We delivered through Manuel for a while.
Figuring it out, right?
Yeah,
what works, like
whatever we had to do,
Yeah.
And thankfully, one of my favorite things ever is working with people in the industry. And I feel like I do more collaborations than anyone else.
That's on my notes. That's one thing I'm like, March, what the hell's up with all these collaborations? No, I love it, man.
But I think it made a big impact. Even
Sure.
when, during our grand opening, even though we didn't know we were going to get shut down yet, I was trying to do collabs with anyone I could.
Yeah.
And we had 3 of our own beers on, but at grand opening, I'm pretty sure we had 3 or 4 collaborations on too.
Okay.
So at least it was beer we had our hand in.
Yeah.
Even if we weren't up to that production level yet. And then one of our goals was to work with the community because, well, one, we wanted to be that benefactor to help spread the word of local charity and try to involve the community with our industry is a little bit different than a traditional business, like trying to do a fundraiser.
Sure.
So it brought new customers to us, which is really important.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a win-win.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, that's been the impressive thing over the last couple years is the collaborations that you've done. And it's not like the normal, hey, let's get these 2 or 3 breweries, or, let me collaborate with this brewery, or maybe even get crazy and collaborate with the chef, right? Or a tap room. But you're collaborating with like country clubs, and you're collaborating with, charities like what was the For the Kids beer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the Kids was the Children's Cancer Network.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Phoenix Rising Supporters Group. Phoenix Rising Supporters Group, they're actually the ones, they're called Union 602.
Okay.
They're the ones that came to us with the idea. And then because they wanted to do events that month to benefit Children's Cancer Network.
Yeah.
And one of the leaders of Union 602 happens to be my tattoo artist. So I was getting tattooed one day, and he brought the idea up to us, and I mean, we were all over it.
Yeah.
We wanted to be involved with Phoenix Rising, Union 602. It's benefiting a good cause. So it made total sense.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I love just the array of them. I mean, you look at your anniversary beers, which, by the way, the cans are fantastic.
Probably my favorite labels ever.
Yeah. Yeah, just the design of them, and then you've got like some of it's matte, some of it's like glittery or shiny. But I mean, you look across the board. I mean, these were, we got 3 tap rooms, but then you also have Twisted Bee, who just makes the craziest shit with freeze dry and Starburst.
Another local company that we get to collaborate with.
Yeah,
and it what's the rising tide lifts all ships.
Exactly. Yep.
With all of the people that we work with are either charities or local companies, or people benefiting the community. So it's, if Coca-Cola approached us to do a collaboration, I probably wouldn't do it. I have no reason to do it.
It's like, right, you wouldn't. Hell yeah, Marshall.
But because we like working with community and small business. That we're a small business. We don't produce a ton of beer, but we can still make an impact by working with different groups. And Twisted Bee is one of those groups. Like people, right now they only set up and sell at craft fairs and.
Here sometimes.
Yeah, especially on release days. We'll have them come and sell their products. Yeah. They have great local honey, terrific infusions, and then they also freeze-dry products.
Yeah.
Which is what we've been using. Well, the first beer we did with them was a raspberry habanero infused honey.
Yep.
Which was stellar.
Well,
and then
Simply Twisted?
Simply Twisted, yeah.
Yes.
And then we did one with freeze-dried Skittles, and then just one of the anniversary beers was Shooting Stars. That's freeze-dried Starburst. So it's a really cool thing to add, and it's beautiful to watch. And then they get to set up and introduce their brand to new people, and people who wouldn't know our brand that already use their products get introduced to ours. So.
Yeah. Well, now they got a spot that they're going to be opening up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they're growing. Since
we
we started working with them last year, they started growing. So
that's pretty awesome. Great people.
I'm not going to say it was us, but
it was us,
we helped a little bit. No, they make a great product. They would have done it anyway, but
they're very driven, very very motivated to get.
And now
that
we're
brand.
tied in with them. So I mean, we've already got 2 or 3 more that we're talking about making, and
nice. That's awesome. Was it a plan from the beginning to do as many collaborations as you do?
Yeah, and believe it or not, we turn down as many as we do.
I was going to ask you if you ever say no.
Sometimes we have to.
You have to, yeah.
Maybe it's just production capacity, but sometimes it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And people understand that. I think we've developed some sort of reputation for doing a lot of collaborations, and everyone's coming out of the woodwork and trying to do one now. It's
I'm sure. Yeah.
Which is great. They if they come to us with a cause that we can actually help with, that's awesome. I sit on the board for the Craft Brewers Foundation.
Okay.
And I'm dying to find a way to tie that in with something, because that's a good cause too.
Yeah.
But we do a lot of them.
You do. Every idea I have that, I'm like, dude, I got this really weird idea. Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Really? All right. Cool.
They're fun. You meet new people.
And I mean, okay, so this is a good transition too, because I want to talk about the canning aspect of it. Those collaborations also give you a lot to work with when it comes to creating a cool design, right? Like, when else would you be able to use, what was it, a teddy bear and a soccer ball on the, for the kids' beer,
right?
So it gives you an opportunity to create art with it. I mean, the can art has really become an art form. at this point, and you guys nail it. Aaron Thomason, your designer.
We owe so much to Aaron. He was a regular at our bar, and one day he would come in and draw and drink a couple beers, and I asked him, "Have you ever done a can label?" And he said, "No, but I've always wanted to."
Yeah.
So as soon as shutdown started, we're like, let's do it, man.
Yeah. Because you weren't planning on it, right? Like the canning wasn't part of was it part of the vision at the beginning?
Yeah. So
okay.
Year 1, 2020, we wanted to put 10% of our product into cans.
Okay.
We didn't anticipate doing custom labels for all of them. We actually had one of the first things Aaron did for us was develop like a generic blank, almost like a Crowler label.
Okay.
And then we were printing labels based on whatever style it was. So it was
Gotcha.
a little labor intensive to apply 2 labels per can, but that was kind of the plan to get rolling, you know?
Yeah.
But that 10% at the end of 2020 ended up being 48% of our product went into
Yeah.
cans. So we ended up, I mean, even now we've got a list of projects that Aaron's working on. If it's a simpler design, you know, something that doesn't need to be illustrated, we have another designer, John Klein, that we're giving projects to, just because Aaron, I mean, you know, we already have him pretty bogged down. Yeah, but now if we would do a release, we want a custom label for it. You know, it's just, it's kind of our style.
Yeah.
And Aaron helped develop like the layout of our cans. So even if they differ a little bit, it's still like you can look at the can, I feel like, and know that it's a simple machine can.
Yeah.
And not all of them have the meters on the side, and not all of them have the glass selection. You know, they all have the government warning.
Did you listen to the Rating Arizona Beers me and Marcus did
Yeah.
at Tap That? What were your thoughts about
I watched that.
If you haven't watched that, go back, listen to it or watch it. And Marcus was my buddy back home. One of my best buddies was like, dude, like I love Marshall's can label. You know, he took defense to it, but no, but Mark, that's what I love about Marcus. Marcus just kind of sees these things and you know, it's a topic.
It was eye opening.
Yeah.
I hadn't considered that people wouldn't understand what that was. You know, we put it on like most of our cans, not all of them, but a good number of them. And it hadn't, until that moment, it never crossed my mind that would be misunderstood.
Well, he did say it's the beer nerd in him. I'm like, well, dude, absolutely. Like, because you're the only one that cares about that, Marcus.
Right.
No.
I really appreciated his review. And overall, he liked the product in the can. So I can't complain, but
he's a big fan of your beers.
He opened my eyes on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not going to stop doing it.
Right. But no, that's part. I love it. Like, I think I compared it to the, old school video games. Like, there was a video game that you could ride the jet skis. Remember the jet ski racing game?
Yeah. Wave
Runner or something.
Yeah.
So I always, when you're going through, like, okay, this one's slow, but it has better handling. Like that's kind of how I envision that, right? Because it's not a number. It's not an IBU.
It's any game. If it's a shooter, it's like, well, this gun has more power, but it's less fire rate, or this jet ski has slower acceleration, but a higher overall. That kind of thing.
That's why
I used to play a lot of like Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Tweak your car, get that little.
Dude, I used to play Grand Theft Auto, and all I would do is just drive places and get my car painted. So, a key to all of this, obviously, was too that you don't have. Did you have the canner at the beginning, or were you guys hand?
No. So we started with the original beta version of the Cano.
Yeah, the Frankenstein one.
Yeah. Which was literally welded in a garage, by my buddy Andrew. But it worked. It worked great.
Yeah.
And he took that model and then started having professional stainless frames made. So for the first month or two, we were running on it, and it had like an altered October seamer, individual seamer, where it would pop the can up and turn the motor on, but you still had to activate Op 1, Op 2.
Okay.
And he took the machine away right about the start of COVID to rebuild mine into the first stainless frame, like regular frame that's in production now.
So basically salvage what he can of that one and use it on this new one.
Took all the pieces off of the old frame and rebuilt it onto the new one. But I was still running the October seamer. So the next phase of development there was to add an actual seamer. So he had
automatic seam, completely automatic.
And it's actually patent pending. Like the design that they came up with, it's stellar. It's crazy simple.
It's amazing.
More
to
simple
watch.
than most seamers. I mean, I've run a lot of different canning lines.
Yeah.
And it's just so straightforward. Like they approached it a different way.
The machine, like when you watch, it is a work of art when you see those canners, and then I mean, in my experience, I don't have a large number of canners that I've seen, but I've seen maybe a couple dozen canners, and just the efficiency and the tightness of that canner is pretty impressive,
and it's perfect for a brewery our size.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't make sense for like Huss.
Sure,
they've got a machine that takes up this room.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
but it makes great sense for. If you want to just pull off small amounts, or if you're not, if you're just on small production.
Yeah.
I went with him just recently and installed one on a 1-barrel brewery in Massachusetts, and we canned off a 1-barrel bright tank, and we had like half a case loss.
Yeah.
Which is phenomenal.
To lose, because the canning process, you can lose a lot of beer. Like high fills or whatever. I've seen the canning lines where as the cans are going through the line, it's shaking so bad that the beer's just like flying out of it. I'm like, what is happening over here? That might have been a little exaggerated.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've seen some horrible stuff on canning machines, and bottling machines, bottling lines.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not envious of what you guys have to do in the back there. I'm really not. I mean, you see what I do when I come here. I stay out of the way and I take pretty pictures.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of COVID, Andrew takes the canner away to get a heavier frame on it, right? Mm-hmm. Where do you go from there? Because now at this point, it's shut down, right? We're probably looking at this point. They said, 2 weeks, we're going to go back to normal life, right?
Right.
Side story, when I really shit my pants about COVID was when we were here for trivia night. Like, I think it was March 11th or something like that.
Right before St. Patrick's Day, the week before St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. Tom Hanks got COVID, and they canceled the NBA season. And I'm like, I got to get home. Like, shit's about to hit the fan, right? So
that was on a Wednesday, and the following Monday, we were shut down.
Yeah. Yep.
I remember that.
Yeah. I mean, dude, when Tom Hanks gets hit, nobody's safe at that point. So Andrew takes the canner away. This is right at the beginning of kind of the shutdown and everything. And where do you go from there? Because I know just that. I don't know. I saw how much cans, and you said 48%, right? I saw the number of cans you guys were putting out. So when did that start? Did he give you your canner back?
Yeah, he was pretty quick. It was like a 2-week turnaround. And in the midterm, we were like, pre-filling growlers and trying to sell them to go. People were coming in with growlers.
Yeah.
Everyone was saying you can't fill growlers that came in, so we just started an exchange program.
Okay.
So if you had a simple growler already, you drop it off and we give you a fresh, clean one and fill it.
Yeah.
And then we have this big triple sink in the lab, and we would super sanitize and refill them.
Yeah.
So we started that program, and that worked pretty well.
Okay.
And then eventually, they're like, never mind, you can fill outside growlers.
Yeah. That's when things are like, all right, things are changing.
Things got to move forward here.
Yeah.
We made it, and then he brought the canner back, and then we were packaging 60-70% of every batch.
Yeah.
Even into the point where tap rooms opened up again. We were running at 25% capacity, and then 50% capacity. Draft sales just weren't there. All of our outside sales were cans.
Sure. Yeah.
And every drop we made, we were able to move, which is fantastic. We didn't get hung with anything.
Yeah.
Until the start of 2021, when tap rooms and restaurants really opened back up again.
Yeah.
Then we were packaging too much.
Okay.
And the tap room was busy, so we would kick it on draft, and the cans would still be around,
because it wasn't on draft.
Right.
Like, you were telling me that. Like, it's interesting, like, your cans just basically plummet when it goes off draft.
Yeah. Yeah. We can't, without opening a can, people can't sample it.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
We'll put it on the menu, but it's under packaged only, so the people are less apt to buy it.
Yeah.
So we learned that pretty quick, about a year after the shutdown.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, only can 15% of the batch, 15, 20%, and then we should be okay to sell through it, because I'd much rather have it left on draft. It's just works out better.
Yeah.
People can try it.
I like on draft too.
Me too. I'll drink to that.
Cheers, buddy. I'll drink that as well. So accolades, right? You're a decorated brewer at this point. Best Newish brewery.
Best Newish brewery.
Well, I mean, that's been great over the 2 years that you guys have been open, despite all of the shitstorm that's flying around. You guys are fighting and continue to move forward, and those accolades, Phoenix Magazine named you guys the best Newish brewery, right? Because I think they skipped
They didn't
the
do
year.
it. Yeah, they didn't do it in 2020. So in 2021, they nominated or they picked us.
Yeah. So to get that, and then for you to be mentioned as one of the great 48 of, I think that's what they call it.
That came out of nowhere.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
That
it was really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how take me through the feelings when you get that? Because people are like, oh, I don't really care. I'd be super
Well,
excited.
I got the email saying I was picked and that they needed information, and that they wanted to do the write-up on me because I had been nominated and chosen.
Yeah.
Out of like almost 700 candidates.
Dang. Nice.
And I thought it was spam,
Okay.
when they sent it to me originally.
Sure.
Because you get those things where every time we get published, one of those companies that makes the placards hits you up and they're like, get your write-up in this frame and you can,
They're relentless too.
for 8 payments of $50, So I thought it was bullshit.
Yeah.
Turns out it wasn't.
Yeah.
So I reached back out to them and they called me and we had a quick phone call to go over my responses and then turns out it was legit and they published it. So yeah, they're in no particular order. I was like 30 something.
Yeah.
Not to say I was 30th best, but
You were first in my book, buddy.
no, it was really cool.
Yeah.
Because I pay attention to that when it comes out anyway. It's really
Sure.
neat because it always features local business people, like small business,
Yeah.
And here I was in this list with, local chefs and local entrepreneurs, and it was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Well, dude, much deserved for sure. For sure. You're making a splash in Arizona beer, man. You are.
It's hard for me to step back and look at it that way.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, I mean, that's part of it, right? Like, if you were stepping back looking at it, you probably wouldn't be doing the work you need to do to make it happen, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We got to reflect and look back but man, sometimes it's the process, I think, is when you really enjoy the process of whatever it is that you're doing, that's the key, man.
I do love what
know?
I do.
Yeah, you do. I can tell.
Which is why I do it like 70 hours a week.
Yeah.
You have to love it if you're going to be doing it. It's just not. It's not something you jump into because you want to make a quick buck.
Right.
I've met people that were like, "I'm going to open a brewery and make some money."
Yeah.
Just
I'm
doesn't
gonna
work.
Get it over on the. You got a guest here. I don't know if you know this guy. Is he just walking in?
Not sure.
I can pause it. Yeah. I'm gonna switch my battery anyways.
And we're back.
When we're back, yeah, sweaty balls. So this sweaty balls, yeah. Oh man. Okay, so if my amazing video, am I in the?
Yeah, you're in frame for sure.
If my amazing video editing, you probably didn't notice the transition right there. But Marshall had a customer come in from Sun City. They're not open yet, and maybe I shouldn't say this because then it's going to open the floodgates of everybody saying they're not open. I'm going to still go.
If I'm here, I'll sell it to go beer all day.
Well, this dude had come. He's like, you're my, one of my favorite breweries, and I wanted to, can I get some cans? And Marshall was like, hell yeah. So we had to take a little pause and.
I appreciate you pausing.
Absolutely, man. Always give us some time to reflect.
Yeah.
Right? So the accolades, very well, very much deserved, and I just think that it kind of builds to kind of fuel that fire that you guys have going at this point, right? It's not like a rest on your laurels type of thing. It's just more like, all right, cool. People are digging this. Back to work, man. Right? Because you have it. What's the vision? Like, what is where do you want to see Simple Machine go?
Honestly, we don't want to be like a big regional brewer.
Okay.
Hitting, like fighting for shelf space in Safeway is not what we want to do.
Ever?
No.
Okay.
It's not a goal.
I like that.
It's not a goal.
That. Yeah.
We like making different beers and trying to perfect house beers. Like Daycrusher. We make a ton of it. Holical. We make a ton of that too. And we kind of fought an uphill battle making. Our system is a little limited right now
Very impressive of the amount of beer you get out of that system, right?
It's a lot of work. But in trying to make it consistent, like our mash tun has terrible efficiency and we lose a lot in the kettle just because of poor design. But we were forced to open with it. And originally we thought we'd upgrade beyond that. And we didn't. So we're just making the best of it.
Yeah.
We couldn't during COVID. We prospered during COVID, but not to the point where we were comfortable making a large purchase,
Yeah.
So yeah, we're making the best. We're making the best of it. But simple is going to be, we want to stay really involved with community. We want to stay really involved with other local business. It was in my business plan for 2014, like to be involved with community and local business. We
awesome,
want to support other local businesses.
Yeah.
Whether it be another brewery, which is the obvious choice, or it be a bee manufacturer.
Yeah.
A honey manufacturer. People
Like,
don't manufacture bees.
Make bees, hell, use that. I'm in on that collaboration. So
I really see Simple going to this location. We want to turn into a little bit larger production. We've got some new equipment on the way as we speak. I'm really excited about that.
Okay.
That will effectively double our capacity, but we're not going to brew at full capacity. We would maybe if we could, but we're limited because of our brew house.
Okay.
But we do want to double our production for next year, this current year. And we'll dabble in some outside sales. A lot of it's going to go to outside sales, most likely.
Okay.
We are building up our barrel program.
It's been growing more and more. There's stacks over there. There's stacks behind us.
Yeah. So
in the back,
as we can, we're bringing in new barrels. We've been working with Black Mountain Distillery. So they give us barrels whenever they empty them.
You there.
We ordered in some from a couple different brokers, and we filled those. And as we can, we're just going to keep doing it, adding more and more and more. I think that creates a really special thing moving forward for breweries. But eventually, and
you could sense that Frank was coming. You're like, what is that?
Yeah.
Everybody, that's Frank that just walked in front of you. Yeah. Did that yesterday too. I went to Patton 139 and did an episode with Tim. I don't know if you ever met Tim. Tim Haas, the avocado. That one, yeah. The avocado family.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so he's the great grandson of the guy who patented the Haas avocado.
Yeah, you're
Haas. That's what it is. Haas. Anyways, their chef did the same thing. Walked in front, pulled a Frank on it. Yeah. So, what about big picture? Let's talk big picture. You want to open up more than one spot, right? You had even mentioned too. I don't know if I should share this with the world, but making sodas. You mentioned is something you have a desire to do. So, is that?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of a different offshoot from. We want to grow the beer side of business for sure. Kind of follow the John Lane Oso thing where we like to create our own points of distribution. Okay. Open up tap rooms. Nothing, I'm only speculating here, but, if we could partner with someone that knows how to run food. Yeah. We maybe look at that. Okay. Which would be cool. But we're going to be able to produce enough beer in this facility to support multiple locations. Yeah. Before too long. And I would rather take that route than try to become like a regional distributed brewery. Sure. But then on the soda note, I do really want to make sodas. I've got some pretty cool recipe ideas that we're gonna implement this year as kind of like test batches. Okay. They're not going to be, it's non-alcoholic, but it's still something I want to try to do. It's funny you remembered that. Yeah. But starting with like a traditional root beer, like I've made root beer at breweries in the past, and it's the way that they were doing it. It's just like syrups and sugar and water, and it's mixed together and carbonated. I don't want to do it that way. Yeah. I want to buy the ingredients. I want to boil it. I want to make an actual root beer. Oh, from the roots. Yeah. From the roots. Sassafras. You call it that? From the roots. No, I will not call it that. Why is that already called? So there's something already called that. Or is it a horrible name? Shut up, Frank. We don't know what we'll call it yet. Okay. But I do want to get into that. I like the NA beverage side of things. And, this tap room, my business partner, he's got a family, just had a second kid. We've always tried to be family friendly. I think offering sodas on draft is something really cool that we can do.
For sure.
And if we do ever make it to the point where we have, a second location that has some sort of food concept, if we're offering sodas on draft that are like house made, that would be really cool. It's not a focus right now, but it's one of those things we dream about.
Well, you said the non-alcoholic side of things. There's been a great stride in how non-alcoholic beer tastes these days, right?
Right.
I remember my dad.
Suddenly people start caring like, can I have a craft beer that tastes like that?
Yeah. Well, so is that a possibility for you to make a non-alcoholic IPA?
We've talked about it. We've looked at it. I would love to do it, but I don't want to fuck around with it. We need certain equipment to do that.
Gotcha.
To do it right anyway.
Okay.
And we don't possess that currently.
Yeah.
We don't have that capacity. It would be really cool. It would be really cool to be able to do it, but I want to make sure it's done right. I don't want to just try to
half-ass it. Like, isn't this good? Like, it's not the home brewing days. People aren't going to say it's great. It's great. Like, you own a business now. People say this fucking sucks, dude.
Right.
What do you mean?
Well, and really, it requires a lot more investment than just being able to produce something that's NA.
Yeah.
The first thing we would invest in is upgrading our lab. We run a pretty rudimentary lab. At least I consider it that way.
You have a lab though. That's a step up.
Right. I mean, a microscope, an incubator, and some glassware.
And a door. To shut it to make it look like you're doing something.
And it's air conditioned. The rest of the warehouse isn't. So that's nice.
I spend a lot of time in there. I do.
But we need equipment that can test ABV, for instance. We don't have anything that can break down and tell us exactly what's in our beer in house. We have to ship it out for that currently.
Okay.
And that just won't do for me.
Yeah.
And if we invest in the equipment first, then adding something that's NA later will be much easier.
Yeah.
But if we had the equipment, we could, tell a lot of things about our beer that I wouldn't have to send it out of house for. So,
like why it tastes like this and why my glass is empty. All right.
Hey Frank.
No. No, you can't. I mean, if you want to.
if you feel so inclined.
A
couple Daycrushers maybe wouldn't hurt. But wave at the camera when you pass.
All right, so if you're listening to this episode, you got to go to YouTube and watch this episode as well. Yeah, because there are people that, I do some video episodes, and people are like, I didn't even know you did a video episode. I'm like, God damn, I spent a lot of time on that. Nobody's even watching it.
Yeah,
just kidding. That's just me thinking out loud.
Your beer review ones I watch all the time.
You like those?
Yeah, I like
people
them a lot.
dig those. Yeah, people have been digging those, and Marcus knows what he's talking about.
I watch his solo videos too.
He knows his stuff,
job.
right? Yeah. And he's a positive guy too. He's not looking to be a douchebag about things.
He doesn't just open a can and shit all over it. He's He always has something good to say about it.
He does. Yeah. So you got a number. This is Buddy. One of your employees with a Tap That Hazy shirt. Dude, thank you.
Good taste in shirts.
It is very good taste in clothing. Thank you for the Tap That Hazy collaboration. That has been.
That's one we're gonna keep doing, man.
I'm excited.
That's actually what we're brewing today.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm not. I don't. I've stirred a couple things and pulled some grains out, but that's it. I've been very clear of what my strengths and weaknesses are.
Yeah.
I'll make a cool video out of this, and we're going to do the Wild West video for the release of this one.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So stay tuned for that. But, okay. So am I going out on a limb when I say that the future of Simple Machine is not really set in stone as far as you guys don't seem to have a hard this is what we're doing, this is what we need to achieve this at this point, that where you kind of goals mixed with the flow of things.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Well, we've been forced to roll with the punches.
You may come
since we started.
Sure. Yeah.
Gentlemen, beers.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, brother. Daycrusher.
I'm cutting that part out. At least the visual part for the YouTube people. Just kidding. That is Frank. Frank, you'll see Frank's biggest smile in the tap room every day.
Yeah.
Frank did?
Yeah.
With the beers, for sure,
well,
man.
not just with the beers, but Frank came in, as a volunteer all during the shutdown to help us package. And even today, he helped me package fresh Daycrusher. So,
dude, Frank's awesome. Cheers to Frank, man. Cheers to Frank.
I'll drink to Frank any day.
Frank is...
He'll beat you to it, though.
I've had some good times with Frank. But no, I mean, that's the team, the team itself. Everybody here is invested in it. And, you know, Frank particularly, like the smile every single day. He's just, oh, no matter what. Like, I've never seen him mad. Have you ever seen him mad?
Kind of once.
Okay. Kind of once. Was it when there was the 2 tables in the back?
No, he was excited that day.
2 tables.
Frankie 2 tables.
So Fleck, you guys are just, you got a semi vision, or I don't want to discount your vision, but it's a roll with the punches type of thing as well.
I mean, you run a small business.
Yeah.
You know, you understand, and I think anyone running a small business, not just a brewery, understands that you have to be flexible and you have to be able to adapt with what's happening, because you know, you don't always know what's going to happen. And for a small business, you might not have the funding to push yourself in the direction you really want to go. So you may have to explore other avenues. Yeah. And COVID was a good example of that. You know, or even in build out, like, you know, construction ran over budget. No shit, that happens. So we couldn't open with a new system. We had to open with the one that I had in my garage. Yeah. You know, which is fine. We're running it till the wheels fall off. Yeah. But you have to be able to adapt to that. So we have an idea of where we want the company, you know, the 1, 2, 3, 4 year goals. But really we focus on the current year. Like anything that's within 12 months from now is where we're really looking, you know? Yeah. Like we just finished anniversary. We're thinking about next year's anniversary. That's about as far as we're going. Yeah. I'm not going to start thinking about Beer Week 2023 yet. Yeah. But I will worry about January when we have to do our 3-year anniversary. Yep. You know, what are we going to do different? Am I going to have something cool in barrels in the next 2 months that I can age for 10 months to then package and release, you know? Yeah. That's about as far as we can concrete vision. Sure. Yeah. But we do, you know, we constantly work toward the ideas of what we're trying to accomplish. Yeah. It just doesn't, you know, it doesn't always work out that way.
It's life.
Yeah, and you'll get real disappointed real quick if you marry an idea that it's just not going to happen sometimes. Yeah. So, yeah, we're very much go with the flow, and that's fine. You know, I just got approached last night about being part of the Wandering Tortoise local tap takeover event that they're doing for Beer Week.
Oh, nice.
And that conversation quickly turned from what beers do you have available to what custom beer are we brewing for the event, you know? Yeah. And then we changed. I knocked something off of production. I put the collab in, and now we're brewing it next Tuesday. Yeah. So it's like, that's the kind of thing we have to roll with, you know? Sure. And we have that flexibility. We have that capacity. If we were locked into a distributorship and we, you know, in the past, when I was brewing at other places, not to name names, but, you know, we had... the tanks were called for because we had to meet the orders, because we had to survive. You know, it wasn't, we didn't have the flexibility to sell it in house like we do here and play around and have multiple sizes on tanks where we can do small batch and we can do a larger production batch. And I don't know, we're in a good spot right now. Yeah. And, you know, we work hard every day, and it's very much a team thing. I mean, you mentioned our team's invested, like, Frank's literally invested, you know, like
he's stealing some cans right now. I see him walking out there, but I'm sure he's delivering
first run low fill. It's fine.
No, but
he's just making sure he doesn't forget them.
Yeah. But no, I mean, everybody on the team, it's that's a hard thing, especially these days, of getting people that are on, because as the owner, as the brewer, as the face of this place, that's a lot of weight on your shoulders of getting the right people. Like, are they representing us well? Are they being assholes to the customers? You know.
So I did. I feel like I did a lot of good due diligence research. You know, when we started thinking about the idea of opening a brewery, which I'll mention again was in 2014. Yeah. My partner and I, you know, we did a lot of research. I already knew a lot of people in the industry. I had just started really working in the industry. And the big thing that you see is, one, people don't stick around because they're, you know, you just go through people. Yeah. You know. Yeah. I remember meeting that Tony McGee book, Lagunitas, and the one thing he said is, like, don't count on anyone sticking around. He thought when they opened, there were people who would be with them for years. Yeah. And then they all turned over in 3 months. You know, when they first got going. Yeah. I didn't experience that.
I was going to say that's not it's a very bleak outlook.
Well,
but
we were trying to be realistic. Yeah,
yeah,
we lost a couple part-time bartenders.
Yeah,
and that's bound to happen. But I mean, I've got Jim on my staff, and he started coming in here when we were under construction, and then he's like, if you guys ever want a night off, I'll come in and work because he loves craft beer. He doesn't need a second job.
Yeah.
He comes here because he loves it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's here tonight. Like, he loves working here. He's been here since the beginning.
Yeah.
Coley, she's been here for over a year.
Yeah.
We don't have the turnover. I haven't had an employee last less than a year so far, which is kind of crazy.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's great.
It says a lot about you as how you operate a business behind the scenes, right? I mean, you can execute, it's not sustainable, but you can execute being an asshole, right? On the front.
I've worked for him.
Yeah. On the front side of things, the customer doesn't really see that, right? Like they're just like, oh, this place is great. They make great beers. They don't know how people are getting treated in the back. But that turnover will pinpoint that real quick, right? So to have that low turnover and people committing to your brand, it says a lot about you. And I mean, the work that you put in and, just being a good dude.
Yeah, well, we try. Yeah, I feel fortunate that we've had the people we have, and they get along with our customers so well that we've cultivated something really neat.
Yeah.
In the tap room, and then for the brand. I think people see the brand, and even if they haven't tried the beer, they like it. We've had people come in just because they wanted to try it, which is great. I think that's common with a lot of breweries, but that's one of the things I still get excited about.
Yeah.
And out of 8 employees, 3 of them, one of them is me, branded themselves with the tattoo.
Right? Yeah, literally branded yourself. Yeah. Frank's got the little on his.
He was
leg.
the first one.
Was he really? Okay. Yeah.
I was the second, and then Coley was the third.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I told them not to do it.
Yeah.
But they wanted to do it anyway.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Which is pretty cool. I mean,
that's really cool. Yeah. You know what? Here's a challenge to the listeners. Find 3 employees from another brewery that have tattoos of that brewery. And let me know.
Work there.
That's still, there you go. There you go. Boom. So Beer Week is coming up. I know you said you're not planning for Beer Week 2023, but Beer Week 2022 is coming up, right?
Yep.
You got some really fun things. Well, first of all, the 2-year anniversary thing where, basically what you guys did was toured 4 different. You went to Trevor's Liquors, Ground Control, Divided Vine, and 1227, which was supposed to be the live podcast. But that was a really cool thing. People collected backstage passes at the weekend before, so then they could turn them in at, on your anniversary weekend. So you guys already hit it out of the park a month before Beer Week, right? So, hope you didn't spend all the budget on. But no, you guys have some really cool things coming up for Beer Week, right?
Yeah. Well, we're already looking at January next year, and we're definitely going to do the tour again. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
The accounts loved it, and we had some really good feedback from customers.
And what a cool theme, right? Because you were in a band, multiple bands.
Back in another life, I used to be cool. Yeah.
Now you're super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I dig that. I love it. I love the theme of it. So we're going to do that next year.
For sure.
What about this year for Beer Week?
We have some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I still need to update it on the Guild Beer Week calendar, but they're all kind of falling into place. So the very first thing we're going to do, Beer Week starts on the 17th, which is a Thursday.
Okay.
On Friday the 18th is when Wandering Tortoise is doing kicking off their all local draft tap event.
That's the 18th.
Yeah,
okay.
Friday the 18th.
Okay.
So we're brewing a beer, as decided last night. We're gonna brew a beer for them.
Hazy IPA.
Nah.
Yeah.
Totally, man. Well, we did one for their 5-year, and I was talking to Thomas from them last night, and people loved it. So he's like, we want something similar. I had him pick out his favorite hops, and then Coley picked one hop she really likes. So it's going to be Sabro Citra Cashmere.
Okay.
7%, 20 IBU. it's going to be really cool. I'm really excited about it.
Nice. So Wandering
Simple
Tortoise.
Tortuga.
Simple Tortuga? I like that, man. So that beer will be on with a mix of other Arizona beers.
Yeah, of they're going to only be selling local for AZ Beer Week.
Nice.
Which I think is really fucking
That's
cool.
really cool, man.
Because they got a lot of draft handles, and they do really well with out-of-state breweries.
They do.
But for them to support it means a lot.
That was one of the. I think that was one of the knocks on them was that they, which I get it. Like they were like, we're getting the best beer. We're not doing it necessarily because it's local, right? So they have that approach of bringing. Like I mean, they brought first time I ever had Cerebro outside of Colorado,
outside of Denver,
right? You know, so they brought some amazing beers, but
consumers want that.
They do.
They want a place
really,
to go.
Yeah, they really do. Like I mean, I love local beers, and I will always drink a local beer when it's on draft. But dude, if I see Cerebro on draft, I'm probably gonna get that, you know, because you don't see it very often. But no, that's awesome that they're doing that for Beer Week is doing the Arizona takeover. So
and we get to be part of it, which is really exciting.
Hell yes. So that's just day 2, right?
Yeah, technically. Yeah. I don't have anything going on for day 1.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do happy hour all day or something. I don't know. TBD.
Follow them. Simple Machine Brewing. On
Instagram and Facebook.
There you go. Boom.
But then the 19th is Strong Beer Festival. So excited to do a Strong Beer Festival again. It was the first and only event that we got to do up until the Saving the Guild events, like the really structured events that they did at Old Ellsworth. And, and down at Button during last year, you know?
Yeah.
But because we opened in January 2020, Strong Beers in February 2020, we hit it out of the park.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, and we're so excited to do Strong Beer again. We're doing a collab with Kitsune, a Belgian quad that we're gonna tap there. We've got a couple of the barrel-aged beers we've saved that we're gonna release there. Nice. And then obviously we're pouring Helical because it's our favorite, and Daycrusher.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people need something light.
They do.
I've learned that working in the industry. We actually just had this conversation in the office last night. They're like, one of my brewers was like, Daycrusher? Why would you? Are we even allowed to bring that?
Yeah.
Well, one, we can bring anything we want. But two, people want it. Trust me. People are gonna want something light.
For sure.
Or they're gonna come up and they're just like, give me your strongest beer. They're gonna slam their cup down, and I'm gonna give them Daycrusher.
It's a triple IPA right here. Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Slam it back. You won't know the difference.
That sounds like a good lineup, though. That sounds like a good mix. Strong Beer is going to be at a new place this year.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if you saw the video the Guild shared yesterday.
Yeah.
That thing that's a huge.
Yeah, it's grassy.
Yeah.
On the Google Maps, it was all rocks, so I was a little concerned.
Oh, yeah, that could be very concerning. Okay, so Strong Beer, and I know you got a couple of other things up your sleeve for Beer Week.
So
on other collaborations.
On Tuesday, 2/22/22.
Oh,
falls during Strong Beer.
On Tuesday?
Tues, TWOS day. Tuesday, the Tuesday.
It's on a Tuesday, too. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, what?
Tuesday.
I'm getting dizzy. Yeah, Tuesday. What are you going to do for that?
We did a collab with BRI. We brewed a cherry kolsch.
Okay.
We're going to release that on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
At the Theodore.
Okay.
Downtown.
Oh, wow.
And we're doing a science tournament. We're going to do an egg drop.
That's right.
Contest. So we'll release the beer. They're going to put on a couple of each of our other beers. We're all going to be down there, the BRI team and my team, handing out some stuff. And then we're going to put together prize packs for probably the first 2 places on the egg drop. If you're not, are you familiar with an egg drop?
No. I am, but I want you to explain it.
Yeah, no. So we'll probably, we'll put the sign up at a certain time and give teams of 2 probably a half hour to structure something to keep their egg safe, and then we're going to start dropping the eggs. And if you get your broken egg, then you're out.
Yeah.
So I'll start just from arm's length, and then we'll be on a step ladder. And then they haven't confirmed this yet, but I want to drop it off the roof. So we'll see. We'll see who wins. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope people really come out and support it. Normally, like Theodore does a great job promoting their events.
Yeah.
So does BRI. So I think we'll get a pretty decent turnout. But that one's
right downtown too. Like there's got to be there's got to be some traffic going on there.
And it's
People
beer week. You know, they're gonna have a good lineup of beers too. So we're really excited to be part of that. And it'll be the first event that we've done at Theodore. And I'm stoked to be working with the BRI team because I've known those guys since they opened up.
Yeah,
that's when I first met them, and just a great crew.
Yeah.
So it'll be good. It'll be a good time.
Awesome, man.
And then
what if they all break it on the first drop?
The one that broke the least, then gets the prize.
Continue. So there was BRI collaboration.
Yep. And then we've got we're doing a collab with TCBC.
Okay.
I'm good friends with those guys, and I had the idea a couple years ago for a really cool beer week event to use BattleBots.
BattleBots?
BattleBots.
Like what's like the?
Do you remember the show? It used to be like you build robots. And
they had like a little arena, and they would yeah.
So they sell sets of BattleBots on Amazon.
Big ones?
No.
Little ones?
Little remote controlled BattleBots.
Really?
Yeah. So we're gonna each buy a couple sets of BattleBots.
Yeah.
And then you come sign up. You pick your bot, and then you battle it out. And we're gonna.
Dude, that's awesome.
We're gonna do top 2 or 3 on that one.
Yeah.
And we're brewing. We brewed a beer last year called Cashmere's Beards.
Okay.
So we're brewing that again. We're gonna do a full batch of it here, package some of it. We got a label in the works.
Yeah.
So that one's gonna be pretty exciting. And that beer was great. I mean, Justin and I both. I think he calls himself a cashmere slut. I'm just a really big fan. So.
Potato. Yeah. You're just being subtle, Mark.
Yeah. And then we're the last one we're doing. We're brewing it next week. It's going to be a collab with Phoenix Beer Co., Throne Brewing Company, and Growly Delivers.
Yeah.
So we're brewing that. We're brewing it at Phoenix, which is cool. I used to brew there. It'll be neat to see how they've progressed. You know, what's new. It's a really big spot.
Really big spot.
But since it was so many breweries involved, we figured they've got the largest production capacity.
Yeah.
So we're going to brew a 20-barrel batch. We're not going to package any of it because Growly Delivers, for people who aren't familiar, is a growler delivery service. So the beer is going to be only available in our tap rooms and only through Growly Delivers. We're not going to package it or offer growlers out of the tap room. It's only going to be on Growly. So
okay, nice.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, and they're going to be offering free delivery on it, which is neat.
Yeah.
We'll all have it on our Growly Deliver websites.
Yeah.
And we're the only 3 breweries that they work with right now. So
yeah. Dude, that's awesome.
So it'll be kind of cool to get that beer in tank. We're going to brew a really, really cool, juicy, spicy session IPA. So,
spicy? What do you mean spicy?
Like, it's going to be kind of bitter.
Okay, not habanero. You're not like throwing
No. Spicy, like hoppy.
Okay, yeah, some hot bite to it.
Yeah, it's going to be bitey.
Like
but really, we want to hit the juicy side. It's going to have a lot of cashmere.
No.
Yeah. No. Popeye and I love the cashmere, so he's not a proclaimed cashmere slut, but
Popeye as well. Yeah, Popeye.
But he loves cashmere. So.
And they're also. I don't know if Eric Walters is still there or not.
He is.
Yeah,
he'll be brewing with us.
Okay.
Their whole team is going to be down for the day.
Nice.
And Growly's coming out. Carlos and Brad from Throne are coming.
What day are you guys brewing?
4th.
February 4th. All right. I might.
You should come down.
Crash the party. Yeah.
Friday.
It'd be actually cool. We could do a
Friday.
podcast. Yeah.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah.
So the Growly thing is really cool. I think that if more people knew about this in the Valley.
I think so too, man.
Dude, Growly's awesome. So basically, like once a week, you get your order on the website. They update the beers. So Marshall releases a hoppy lager, which is one of my favorite beers that you make. There's been a couple of them. There was the Zeppelin one, right? What was the
Whole
Zeppelin?
Lager Love.
Whole Lager Love, dude. That was fantastic. So you get these beers, and the day pretty much, I think, within a couple of days of them coming out, they're on the Growly website. You can go there, you can order what growlers you want, and Growly delivers it to you.
Yeah.
Like within the Phoenix metro area.
We get our orders in Thursday morning. We fill the growlers that morning, and they deliver them that day.
Yeah.
So and then we date them all, Best Buy kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they offer regular 32-ounce growlers, or they've got the 64-ounce U-Cake style with
are
like
awesome.
the charged CO2.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
And it's another small business born out of the shutdowns.
Yeah. Yep.
They wanted to do something good for the environment, and they capitalized on trying to do reusable, and we're able to pull off a delivery service for it. It's pretty cool. They do coffee too. They deliver coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's pretty wild.
What a way to get your like weekend going, right? Thursday evening, you get a 32-ounce cold brew, and you get a 64-ounce of a double IPA from Simple Machine. Your weekend Friday is going to be a good day. But anything else? So you got the Growly collaboration. Is that the kind of the beer week wrap up for you guys?
We are going to be doing a couple things in house that week that are still TBD-ish. So, I mean, if you're listening, pay attention to our social media.
Yeah,
that's where we're announcing it. So,
we're
going to do some fun stuff. I'm excited about Beer Week this year.
Hell yeah!
I mean, it's going to be a long 10 days, but
yeah, I always call it Beer 10 days. Not Beer Week, Beer 10 days.
Yeah, Beer Week and a half.
Yeah. Well, dude, always great having you on the show, man.
I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Well, I feel like since the first episode that we've done, when we initially did the episode here, there's been a couple times I've had you on the show, but I've never had you to myself. Like
it's first time.
Yeah, we started at AZ Barrels, Bottles, and Brews, and then Liz came on pretty quickly and crashed the show. But no, man, I'm glad that we got to sit down and get an update of what's going on with Simple Machine. I love you guys, and the success is really cool to see, man. So,
well, I think it's great to see that the whole AZ beer community is growing.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I'm glad to be part of it, and I've always thought Simple should act to be part of what they wanted it to be, and I think we're doing a good job on that.
Nice.
And we didn't lose anyone during the shutdowns, which is pretty stellar.
Yeah.
I'm happy about it.
Nice work, buddy. Cheers to
bro.
you. Cheers. It was like the 8th cheers we did.